Volleyball sweeps a two-game set against Kansas State. The Lakers come out of the NBA bubble on top, and we take a look at another crazy week of college football. All this and more on this week's episode of College Press Box. Welcome into College Press Box. I'm your host, Jason Kinander, and we have a full slate for tonight's show. Kicking us off is Texas Volleyball, who had an eventful weekend of action against Kansas State. Texas Volleyball went into Manhattan as the top-ranked team in the country. In the first game, the Longhorns ran into some trouble as it would take 5 sets for the Horns to down the Wildcats. Logan Eggleston led the way, notching her first double-double of the year with 20 kills and 14 digs, guiding the Longhorns out of trouble, who would win 3-2. The second game, Texas brought back their A game, winning in straight sets and sweeping the 13th-ranked Wildcats, winning 3-0. Eggleston continued her successful weekend with 17 kills, 4 digs, 3 blocks, and an ace. Surely wasn't easy, but the Horns will retain their number 1 ranked ranking for at least another week.
Butler and Phillips.
And it is now my pleasure to welcome our volleyball analyst, John Kelley. John, thank you as always for joining us. Obviously, Texas came into this match against K-State as a heavy favorite. What do you believe went wrong in the first game?
Thank you, Jason, for having me. What went wrong for this Texas team wasn't so much Texas itself, but just the overall prowess of this Kansas State team. K-State freshman Aliyah Carter broke a school record in the game on Friday for kills by a freshman, scoring a whopping 26, more than any player on the Longhorns. In addition, the redshirt junior Bryn Carlson recorded 20 kills. That duo accounted for more than 75% of the Wildcats' kills all game. And overall, they just played an impressive game against a good team, a good Texas team. This Kansas State team really proved their own, and that led to this 5-game set on Friday.
Right. So obviously Texas ended up sweeping the weekend, but it wasn't easy, especially with the first game going to 5 sets. What do you think that the Longhorns need to do to keep their number 1 ranking?
They need to work on their serving. The Longhorns on Friday recorded 10 service errors and only 8 aces. Every game this season has had more service errors than aces, with half of their games having more than 10 serving errors. On a team with as much talent as this one has, it's the little things that can cause problems. And fixing those small things will help propel this team further in the right direction.
Couldn't agree with you more. Obviously, the Longhorns did do a great job, as you said, of bouncing back from the first game. What are your biggest takeaways on what ultimately went right this weekend for Texas?
Well, what went right this weekend for this team was just proving how good this team can be. Despite going to 5 sets, Texas had a higher hitting percentage than K-State in all but the 3rd set of that game. Logan Eggleston had an explosive performance with 37 kills in the series. Asia O'Neal held the line for the Horns with 12 blocks, and Jenna Gabriel recorded 95 assists over the weekend. This team is just so stacked with talent, and it's impressive to watch them play. It'll be interesting to see if they can make the subtle adjustments we talked about earlier, and we'll see if they can continue this trend in their next matchup against Texas Tech this Thursday.
Exactly. Couldn't agree. Thank you very much for joining us, John. When we come back, we will be joined by Celeste Ramirez, who will take us through the Lakers' exciting NBA Finals win. You'll want to miss it. Welcome back into College Press Box. Just a few months ago, I honestly did not think I'd be saying this, but we have ourselves an NBA champion. The Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat head back to the court for Game 6 of the NBA Finals in the Orlando bubble last Sunday. Let's take a look at the highlight. Early on in the game, score tied at 2. LeBron James on the fast break with the big slam, put the Lakers on top. Tyler Hero pumps, gives Duncan Robinson a triple, knocks it down. Here we go again. Davis to Green. Danny Green in the corner for 3. Buries it. Lakers back on the break. LeBron James drives in right in the face of Robinson with contact. Finishes. Lakers back again in transition. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with contact again in the face of Robinson. The line would just keep moving. Corner. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. No good. Davis fights for the rebound. Puts one up. Huge slam in the face of the Heat. It would be all Lakers from there. Jimmy Butler drives in. puts one up for the Heat. That would be all that they could muster as Pope again on the drive. Another time in the corner on the feed from James for three. Extends the lead to 30 points headed into the break. Third quarter, pick it right back up. Caruso to LeBron James. Just about as easy as it gets. Caruso again finding James. The great chemistry between the two. Heat would try to make a little bit of movement. Fourth quarter, lob up to Bam Adebayo, but it was all LeBron from there, hitting the three ball to ice it in the face of the Heat. Everything else would just be extracurricular. James slams it home. The Lakers win the NBA Finals, giving LeBron James his first in Los Angeles. It was a tumultuous season, but the Lakers come out on top of the bubble. And now we are joined by our very own basketball analyst, Celeste Ramirez. Celeste, thank you so much for joining us. And obviously, it was a very exciting NBA playoffs, exciting NBA Finals, I guess you could say, up until the last game. But what were the keys to the Lakers' Game 6 win?
Thank you so much for having me. The very key to the Lakers' win was their defense. They have an all-around defensively gifted team that averaged more blocks and steals than the Heat. The Lakers held their opponents to 36 points at the half in Game 6. While I understand that Danny Green's name is almost sacrilegious to say to a Lakers fan right now, his help defensively was very necessary.
Yeah, I completely agree. Defensively and offensively, Danny Green certainly exercised his demons in Game 6. Are you surprised that this series went into 6 games, especially with how heavily favored the Lakers were?
I'm not surprised that the series went to 6 games because the Heat fought their way through the entire bubble situation, and I didn't think that they were going to let up just for the finals. Jimmy Butler didn't let his own family come to the bubble, saying it was a business trip, and boy, did he mean business. Butler's final stats were 29 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 10.2 assists per game. The example he set in motivational speeches he gave his Heat's team of best buddies really carried them through the bubble journey, and I really think what the Heat lacked most against the Lakers was experience.
Yep, completely agree with that one. Final question. It's a big one. It's what everybody's been talking about for the past week. Do you consider LeBron James the greatest of all time?
I feel like I've lost friends over the GOAT conversation. I'm just kidding, but that's how political this debate feels to me. In my humble opinion, LeBron is the greatest of all time all-around player, and what I mean by that is he's accomplished so much on the court, which is remarkable, with NBA records, 10 finals appearances, 4 NBA titles, list goes on. But it doesn't stop there. His work outside of basketball and for his community is respected and admired by athletes all over. The 35-year-old veteran with 17 seasons of all-around greatness is simply incomparable to just about anyone in NBA history. So please don't hex me, but yes, I would say that LeBron James is the GOAT.
Can't say I agree with you there, but I like the insight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Celeste. And when we come back, Matt Marinchak will recap an exciting week of college football. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back into College Press Box. We are now joined by Matt Marinchak, who will take us through Week 7 of college football for this week's version of Unhooked.
Thanks, Jason. Last week we had a lot of great games. Let's head down to Yeoman Stadium, where we had the 17th ranked SMU Mustangs taking on the Tulane Green Waves. Here we go. First quarter. Michael Pratt takes a snap. He steps back. He throws it deep. He has a man, and he gets a nice touchdown to Mikel Jones for 6. Tulane leads 7-0. Another ensuing drive. Bouchel takes a snap. He hands it off to Danny Gray on the outside. He will break a tackle right along the sideline, and he will dive into the end zone. We got ourselves a tie game. Fast forward to the second quarter. Bouchel looks in the corner, has his man Rashid Rice, and that will be a touchdown for SMU. They will lead 17-14. And our third quarter, tie game. Pratt hands it off to Stephon Hutterson, and he will break the tackle. SMU missed a couple tackles, and that will give Tulane a 24-7 lead into the fourth quarter. Third and 39. Michael Pratt throws it deep. Does he have a man? He does. He has Deuce Watts, and he will catch that for a huge conversion, and that will lead to a goal line play right here where Michael Pratt doesn't find anybody. He just takes it in himself, and that will give Tulane a 31-27 lead. And now it's a two-lane kick field. Bouchel right here throws it again, finds Rice, and now gives SMU a 34-31 lead. Now we got a tie game after a field goal. Chris McGard comes out, 57-yarder, joints. We're going in overtime. We got SMU on upset alert right here. Michael Pratt steps back, takes a snap, throws it. It is picked off by SMU. Brandon Crossley takes it. That will give SMU the ball, and they just need to score to win. And here comes our man again, Chris McGard. Can he make this field goal? 35-yarder down the middle. The SMU win. They avoid the upset. They remain undefeated at 5-0 after this great win. All right, now we're going to head down to Williams-Brice Stadium in SEC country for number 15 Auburn taking on South Carolina. First quarter, Bo Nix steps back. He looks, finds his man, Eli Stokes on the slant route. That will give Auburn a 9-0 lead. They will miss a 2-point conversion. Here we go, second quarter, Bo Nix. He's looking for a man. He pumps fake, under pressure. He scrambles. He's still scrambling. Third man try. That is picked off by J.C. Horn. That will give South Carolina great field position. He is happy about it. And now handoff to their man, Kevin Harris. Fouls in for a 3-yard touchdown. 9-7 Auburn. Bo Nix drives Auburn down the field, and they will hand it off to Tank Bagsy, and he will run it in for a touchdown. 16-7 Auburn. And now here Bo Nix takes a snap. He looks, pump fake. He's under pressure. It's tipped, picked off by Jalen Dickerson. Auburn will end up leading at the half, 16-14. Third quarter, Colin Hill catches Auburn offside. Free play, throws up to his man. Shai Smith climbs the ladder. Touchdown South Carolina, gives them their first lead of the game, 21-19. Third quarter again, Bo Nix. He's looking, throws it to his man, but it's picked off again. J.C. Horn picks it up with a nice return, his second pick of the game. And now we're going to head to the fourth quarter, crunch time. Can Auburn avoid the upset? Bo Nix, he's looking for a man. He's running around the pocket. Flags are thrown, he scrambles. He runs, but he misses the first time as time expires. South Carolina pulls the upset on Auburn. Now we're going to travel to Tallahassee to Doak Campbell Stadium for the number 5 North Carolina Tar Heels taking on the Florida State Seminoles. First drive of the game, North Carolina has to punt, but that punt is blocked by Florida State, and they will recover the ball, and that will give them great field position. The big man picks up, and he'll take it to the North Carolina 23-yard line. Next play, quarterback Jordan Travis, read option. The defense falls first, he scrambles, and he makes it all the way to the end zone. Florida State leads 7-0 on North Carolina. And now we will jump to the second quarter, where Sam Howell, he throws it, is picked off by the big man, Joshua Kendall, and he will take that to the house. Florida State is shocking UNC with a 24-0 lead in the second quarter. North Carolina can't believe it. Sam Howell looks, he tries to get UNC on the board, he throws it, finds his man Bo Corrales to the first down and more. He will break a tackle. He'll keep running past midfield, and they'll give North Carolina another play to get to the goal line where they are. They'll hand it off to Javonte Williams. He will walk in for a 1-yard touchdown. Florida State is up 24-7 on North Carolina. Under a minute left in the half. Florida State, they're going for another score. Jordan Travis, he's under pressure. He's scrambling, and he throws it, finds his tight end, Cameron McDonald, for the easy touchdown. 31-7, Florida State at the half, shocking North Carolina. Third quarter, Sam Howell, he steps back. He's under pressure. He's going out of the pocket, and he finds his man, Javonte Williams, in the middle of the field, 36-yard touchdown, and they will convert the 2-point conversion, 31-15, Florida State. A few drives later, Sam Howell, the snap, he throws it deep, has him in double coverage. Bo Corrales comes up with it. Florida State North Carolina will score, but they will not convert the 2-point conversion. Fourth quarter, Howell trying to get the comeback. Finds his man, Damani Brown, for deep, 25-yard touchdown, 31-28, Florida State. Now, last chance for North Carolina to win. They need the first time to get in field goal range. Howell, he scrambles. He's still scrambling. He's trying to find a man to find Javonte Williams, but he drops it. Florida State shocks number 5 North Carolina, and Matt Brown has still never beaten Florida State in his coaching career. And now for the primetime matchup of the week, we have the number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Let's head to it. First quarter, first drive of the game. Mac Jones He'll throw it up. The ball is tipped, and that is picked off by Richard LaCour. Georgia has the ball in great field position. Can they capitalize and score? He got to the quarterback, Stetson Bennett. He will look. He looks for a man. It's tipped, and it's picked off by the big man, Justin Adobe. And Alabama gets the ball right back, and Alabama will waste no time scoring on this next play. Jones, play action. Goes deep, has a man beat. John Mitchie for the touchdown, 7-0 Alabama. But that's not going to stop Georgia as they drive down the field the next drive. And Jameer White, he will take it right through the middle, tie it up, 7-7. And that, so few drives, second quarter. You got Georgia the ball again, has a man wide open, all the way to the house. James Cook, 82-yard touchdown. Georgia will take the lead, 14-7. Alabama is not gone yet. Mac Jones, he looks, he throws it deep, has a man on the wheel route. Devonta Smith, touchdown, and that will tie the game back up at 17. Bennett looks, throws it, he has a man, Jermaine Burton, 5-yard touchdown. Bama will take a field goal at the end of the half, and we're tied. Even Mac Jones throws it deep, has a man, Jalen Waddle, wide open. He will take that to the house, 90-yard score. Bama will take the lead, 27-24. And in the fourth quarter, Stetson Bennett, he looks, he's scrambling, he's under pressure, breaks a sack, and he's just throwing rid of the ball, but that ball is picked off by Daniel Wright. Alabama gets the ball back, and they will end up scoring again. And that is going to be it for Georgia because that seals the game. Bama will win this. They will remain undefeated, and Georgia will take their first loss of the season. In this crazy season, many ranked teams have lost to unranked opponents, and some surprise teams have made the top 25. Next week, we have the Big Ten coming back, and early next month, the Pac-12 is coming back. We should have a bizarre end of the college football season. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you very much, Matt. When we return, we will take a look at Friday night's high school football showdown between the Lake Travis Cavaliers and the Hayes Rebels. Stick around. Welcome back into the press box. On Friday night, the Lake Travis Cavaliers went up against the Hayes Rebels. Matt Marinchak was at Bob Shelton Stadium and has more on this game.
Last Friday, the Lake Travis Cavaliers took on the Hayes Rebels under the Friday Night Lights in Buda. Going into the season, University of Pittsburgh commit Nate Yarnell was set to be the starting quarterback for Lake Travis, but an off-season hand injury has kept him out of action to open up the season. In his place, sophomore quarterback Bo Edmondson has shined, throwing for 11 touchdowns and 852 passing yards through the first 3 games of the season, including a 6-touchdown, 459-yard performance against Hayes.
It's just, it's next man up. You got to live up to it. We have a tradition around here, and I'm just trying to continue it.
Over the past decade, Lake Travis has been a quarterback factory, producing talent like Baker Mayfield, Charlie Brewer, and Hudson Card. Coach Hank Carter believes that sophomore quarterback Bo Edmondson could be the next one to continue the legacy.
It's hard to compare all the guys that we've had. We've had so many great players. But what I would say is at this point in Bo's career, he looks like he's going to be another really good one. But, yeah, I think Bo's done a nice job while Nate's been out. I'm really excited about how much better he's getting every week.
Lake Travis scored a season-high 70 points against Hayes, but they also gave up a season-high 35 points. Coach Carter believes that the team needs to improve on some things before next week's tough matchup against 3-0 Austin High.
I think that we're doing a nice job offensively. Defensively, we've got to shore some things up. We've got to be more disciplined with our eyes and be in the right spot. We've got a long way to go.
From Bob Shelton Stadium, I'm Matt Marinchak, TSTV Sports.
Texas soccer defeated Iowa State by the score of 1-0 on Friday night. Haley Berg scored early in the second half to give the Longhorns the lead as Savannah Madden made 3 saves in the impressive shutout win. Next up for the Horns is a battle with Oklahoma State and Stillwater on Friday night. Women's golf finished in second place at the Betsy Rawls Invitational this past weekend. Senior Caitlin Papp notched her 10th top 5 finish of her career as the Longhorns totaled 11 under par score over 3 rounds as a team. The Horns will be back in action on October 26th in the East Lake Cup. In men's basketball news, the 2020 Maui Jim Maui Invitational Bracket has been announced. The tournament will not be played in Maui, contrary to the name of the tournament, and will instead be played in Asheville, North Carolina. Starting on November 30th, the Horns will face off against Davidson in the first round, which should be a great early season test for Shaka Smart's group. This week in Longhorn sports, we have a very full slate, beginning with men's golf, who will continue at the Merito Collegiate Invitational in Carlton tomorrow morning. Volleyball plays Texas Tech on 7 p.m. on Thursday on Longhorn Network. 6 p.m., same place, same channel on Friday. Women's tennis will participate in the HEB Baylor versus Texas shootout in Waco from Friday to Sunday. Men's tennis will also be in action in the ITA Texas Regional Championship, also in Waco this weekend. And last but not least, football back in action after the bye week will take on Baylor at DKR. You can find that game on Saturday, 2:30 on ESPN. Certainly looking for a big win from the Horns there. And that will be all for College Press Box tonight. For all of those behind the camera that make this possible, thank you. Be sure to tune in to College Crossfire on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. for the best sports debate on the 40 acres, and wake up with the 1-0 Sports Show Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Until next time, I'm Jason Kinander. Have a great night.